From JBS Studios in Greater New York, this is the JBS News Update with Teisha Bader.
I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Tuesday, November the 26th, 2019. Supporters of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu gathered in Tel Aviv tonight in a show of solidarity with the Prime Minister following the indictments announced against him last week. Blue and White Party leader Benny Gantz said that while he supports the right to protest and freedom of expression, he tweeted, "In a healthy democracy, a Prime Minister doesn't organize a protest against the law enforcement system for which he is responsible." Netanyahu has claimed that the indictment against him is an attempted coup, claiming that there were some within law enforcement who did not act in accordance with the law. Meanwhile, Attorney General in Israel Avichai Mandelblit, who delivered the indictment against the Prime Minister, seemed to address recent comments from Netanyahu and others at a legal conference in Eilat. Mandelblit said, "I am hearing expressions that don't have a place in public discourse, that are directed at the law enforcement system and certain senior officials inside it." He said, "I am hearing threats, I am hearing lies, I am hearing baseless slander. That is simply shocking." Mandelblit said Netanyahu is the prime minister of us all. The state prosecution is not, God forbid, in a confrontation with the prime minister or any minister. Thousands of Palestinians took part in a self-proclaimed day of rage today to protest the U.S. policy reversal announced last week by U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo that the Israeli settlements are not in violation of international law. Dozens of rioters burned tires, threw stones and Molotov cocktails at Israeli security forces, also burning posters of Israeli and American leaders as well as Israeli and American flags at a number of locations in the West Ridge or West Bank. The IDF responded with riot control measures when needed. The Palestinian Red Crescent said it treated 77 light injuries. 106 Democrats from the U.S. House of Representatives have sent a letter to Secretary of State Pompeo urging him to immediately reverse the decision on the settlements. The letter was spearheaded by Representative Andy Levin of Michigan. It states that the U.S. reversal has discredited the U.S. as an honest broker between Israel and the Palestinian Authority, severely damaged prospects for peace, and endangered the security of America, Israel, and the Palestinian people. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has taken a strong stand against BDS, the Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions campaign that seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel. Johnson's Conservative Party said it will ban local councils from boycotting products from foreign countries, including Israel, making the pledge part of the party's platform ahead of the December 12th general elections. Last week, the UK's Labour Party, in its pre-election statement, said that if it came to power, it would stop selling weapons to Israel. And in a rare move, Britain's chief rabbi Ephraim Mervis weighed in on UK politics, specifically on the Labour Party and the many claims of anti-Semitism against it. Mervis wrote in the Times of Israel that he felt compelled to intervene because Britain's Jews, he said, were gripped by anxiety over the prospect of a Labour win. Without mentioning Labour chief Jeremy Corbyn by name, Mervis warned that a new poison, sanctioned from the top, has taken root in the Labour Party. In what seemed like a response to the chief rabbi, Corbyn told Labour members today that there is no place whatsoever for anti-Semitism in any shape or form or in any place whatsoever in modern Britain. And under a Labour government, he said, it will not be tolerated in any form whatsoever. By the way, the Church of England responded to Rabbi Mervis's statements, sharing concern. The Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, wrote on social media that the chief rabbi should be compelled to make such an unprecedented statement at this time ought to alert us to the deep sense of insecurity and fear felt by many British Jews, adding that the church was very conscious of its own history of anti-Semitism, saying none of us can afford to be complacent. A bipartisan bill to help Holocaust survivors and their families recover billions of dollars of insurance funds was presented in the U.S. House of Representatives last week. The Holocaust Insurance Accountability Act of 2019 was introduced Friday by Democrat Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Republican Lee Zeldin. This follows a Senate companion bill introduced by Republican Senator Marco Rubio and Democratic Senator Jackie Rosen. 97% of approximately 800,000 insurance policies held in 1938 have not been honored because insurers demand original paperwork and death certificates be presented. Wasserman Schultz said preventing Holocaust survivors and their families from collecting undocumented policies is truly outrageous and cruel, but allowing these global insurance corporations to hold on to this unjust enrichment is an offensive re-victimization that cannot be allowed to stand. While the state of Rhode Island will be working together with Israel's Ben-Gurion University, the Providence Journal reports that Governor Gina Raimondo signed a cooperation agreement with the Israeli school during her 6-day trip to Israel last week. It says the state and Ben-Gurion will encourage co-generation of business startups, develop internships, and work to create partnerships with Rhode Island colleges and universities. Taking a look now at our programming for tonight on JBS for Tuesday, November the 26th. At 7:05, it's Israel Briefing with former Deputy Director Generals at the Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Pinchas Avivi and Arthur Cole, who brief U.S. cadets on security concerns for the United States and Israel, including the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Then it's the film Wrestling Jerusalem in the spotlight on New Jewish Cinema. At 9:05, Mark Golub sits down with Yaakov Perry on L'chaim, followed by remarks from Mordechai Kedar on the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. And coming up right after this newscast, conservative talk show host and author Dennis Prager speaks to the assault against free speech in America, YouTube censoring videos of PragerU, and his film No Safe Spaces on tonight's In the News with Mark Golub. And that's the JBS News Update for Tuesday, November the 26th, 2019. I'm Teisha Bader.